What's up YouTube, Jay Travelini here, and today what I'm going to do is I have a few GPUs here that I have had sitting on the shelf for a little bit, but I'm going to put them on a rig today and I'm going to be mining Flux with them. Now this will be a HiveOS rig, and down here we have a 3070, a 3080 Ti, and a 3080, and in this box is another 3070. Now these are all LHR cards that I picked up through various ways through EVGA, and then powering this I have a power supply that Red Panda had sent me, and I used it previously on a build so I know it's working, but it's a 2000 watt power supply, 90 plus gold, which we all know is fake. It's probably 80 plus gold, but it should be enough to power this rig, and I'm estimating this rig to take about 900 watts, maybe a little bit less. We'll see. I got the 30 ATS probably gonna be pulling 260, 270-ish. My 3080 probably about 230, 240 watts, and then 150 each on the 3070s, so about 800 watts, a little over 800 watts I'm estimating, plus the board power. And I do have one of my Sluice V2 frames with my Z270 motherboard on it that I will be using. Now if you guys remember from a previous video, this motherboard was only posting with 4 GPUs, but I only have 4. So I plan on running 3 on the bottom with fans, and I do have my 3000 RPM fans, which I'll be putting on it. Now, I think I may only have 4, so I might just put them on the bottom. If I have a 5th or 6th, I'll put one to help blow air across the top just to cool down. So I'm thinking the two 3070s and the 3080 on the bottom, and then the 3080 Ti on the top by itself. And then I'm gonna let this rig run and mine Flux with it. I already have 1 GPU on Flux, which I may take off my test bench eventually and put on this rig if I get another GPU to test out right now, or just shut that test bench down for now. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this cleared off so I can work on this table, get this all put together. Now the SSD is still on the way, but it should be here sometime today, which I will flash with HiveOS to get this running. And I'm still waiting on power cords. I'm all out of ones for my PDUs, but I should have enough power on one of them to power this. So let me go ahead and get this put together, and I'll show you guys the finished build. All right, so it is built. I got my 3080 Ti on top, my 3080 here, and my two 3070s. Now one is an XC3, not the For the Win 3, but that's, I mean, this was picked up through B stock, so I mean, it was a pretty good snag, I would say. Now it did boot into the BIOS, unfortunately not on my SSD yet. So once that shows up, I'm gonna flash this. I did have to take my P10690s offline to plug this in because I need one of these cords, but it's on its way. It should be here tomorrow, so I'll have all my rigs back up online. Now, I do need to get this flashed, so I'm gonna go in and we'll go inside the computer next. Once I get the SSD flashed with HiveOS, we'll go inside. I'll set my overclocks and we'll get this thing mining Flux, and I will show you my overclocks that I settled in with. I don't know if I'm going to use, I'm probably going to use Miniz miner on this rig. So once that's here, I can get this up and get this mining, and we can check this out, and I'll show you guys how much Flux I'm estimated to earn per day and an ROI on the rig. Now I did pay MSRP on all these cards, or you know, I probably won't do an ROI because we're doing Flux, but we'll see. But I did pay MSRP for all the cards except this one that was B stock, so it was a little bit cheaper, like 20 bucks, but these were all MSRP. Now this 3080 Ti, I am trying to get rid of this one to upgrade it to a 3090. Now I am in the works of process of trying to do so, but for the meantime I will use it. Now when I get my 3090, that will obviously be on Ethereum, and then the plan is to break this rig up, put it on 2 separate frames with 6 cards each. So I'll see where I land. I will break my Flux rig up, and maybe this is, a lot of this is on Ravencoin, and then some of it is on Ethereum, so that's dual flight sheeted. But I'm gonna get the fans onto this one, and then we will see what we can do once it's all up and running in Hive. So let's go inside the computer and I'll show you guys overclocks that I decided to go with and the hash rates that I'm getting mining Flux. All right, here we are inside of the computer, and here you can see my rig up and running. Now, it's been running for 4 days now, so I do have some stable overclocks that I am using. Now, you can get a little bit more soul out of each card, but these are the clocks that I decided that I'm going to run with. Now, I could crank the power up, get more souls, but I want to keep it a little efficient. I also want to keep the temps down on these cards as much as possible. So you can see my 230/70s here, averaging close to 60 souls each. One's just over, one's just under, but the overclocks are about the same at 140 watts. And then both my 3080 and 3080 Ti are using just about 250 watts each. 3080 about 90 souls, 3080 Ti 97 souls. Now, this makes my 3080 Ti a little bit more efficient at these settings, but you also have to remember this was a $1,300 card. This one was just under $1,000, so you have to take that into consideration when you're buying. Now, I did do a full ROI, and this is just the miner going. I am using Miniz, and it does fluctuate a lot. If you ever look at the pool, it is zigzags all over, so it'll spike up close to 600 souls, then down to 200. So it does do that a good amount. Now, if we look at my ROI here, now this is the full base rig. Now, this whole section, the 521, this was all parts that I had on hand. Now, I didn't technically pay this because I used an old rig that I just had sitting there. It was just a frame with a motherboard. The risers are already on it, the power supply already on it, because I combined rigs into one bigger one. But this would be the base price of if I were to go buy all these parts all over again for the prices that I paid. Now, the Atx Power Supply, this was actually the one I said that was given to me from Red Panda Mining, which was awesome of him to do. So I really didn't pay this price either. But for the sake of this video, if you looking to purchase these cards and run them on a rig mining Flux, I'm going to keep these prices in. Now, this was a price off Alibaba for a power supply that was very similar. Then my frame was 106 after shipping on Alibaba. My motherboard I got for 150 on eBay as a package deal. That's why you don't see the processor and RAM. My fans were about $60 on Alibaba. They are 3,000 RPM fans. And then risers about $65. Now, these come in a 6-pack, so I have 2 left over, obviously. But I also had those on hand left over from another rig, but that just gives you an idea. Now, this is a GPURiser.com price, because these are the ones that I have on the rig. Now, you could go cheaper, get the RGeek ones on Alibaba like I get for 34 for 8-cap risers, or you could go on Amazon and get other risers that are all 6-pin powered. So this could vary. You could probably get this base total price down closer to 400 if you really wanted to stretch it and use maybe a different frame, different fans, a cheaper motherboard and package maybe, and different risers. Now, the cards that I used, you guys saw, this is the price I paid for all of them after shipping to my door. So for all 4 cards, I'm $3,746 into it. That puts my whole rig cost at $4,267. Now, if we jump over to what to mine and we calculate it. Now, I did change some of these just so they don't pop up. So we're in Zellcash. So 305. We're looking at 305 souls. I'm usually pretty much averaging mining. Now, I did bump this power up about 60 watts because of board power and everything. So I did put it at 910. So if we calculate that according to what to mine. Now, I don't think they really bonus reward says they're included by default, but I don't know how accurate that is. Estimated rewards in a 24-hour period around 4 flux they're saying. So we'll just go with this. Averaging, I'm going to make $10.25 per day on this rig in revenue. So if we go in here, go to my ROI, and put this at $10.25. Now, I calculated this already. That puts me at a profit of $7.41 a day. Now, my ROI is going to be 576 days on this rig. Now, you have to remember these are high priced cards, but that is a very long ROI. Now, the price of crypto has slightly gone down. Do I plan on breaking the rig up and possibly scalping the GPUs? Because that is always a possibility right now. Also, no, I don't. I'm going to keep running this rig and maybe not run it all the way to ROI on Flux. I may switch it to different coins such as Raven coin or something. If anything pops up that may be more beneficial or more, you know, profitable at the time. But that just gives you an idea of my ROI time according to this rig. I mean, it's been solid. I am going to leave it on Flux for now. Now, the other thing I might also do is put this on solo mining Flex. I do take a risk with 305, 306 souls solo mining, hoping to hit a block, but one block reward is about 35 Flux from what I understand. So if I do solve one, it's not too bad. So we open up the calculator here. It's 35 Flux a block. I'm getting 4 per day on average. As long as I'm doing 1 a week or 1 every 8 days, I'm pretty much ahead of the game. But, you know, thanks for checking this video out. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more.